Depth sorting is a really important function of Anime Studio Pro. When you start working with this program, you might be quite content to work in just two dimensions, X and Y axis, and using the layer sort feature. Whatever is listed at the top is seen first by the camera, and then as you progress down, it gets hidden behind it. That may work for your animation style, but it's also relatively limiting in terms of the sophistication you can bring to some of your productions. What I have here is, it looks like concentric types of boxes. This is where depth sorting really starts coming into play. If I select layer 3, we'll come up here to the layer tool selected, come up to the top here, and we see we've got a Z depth of -6. This is a long ways away from the camera. The further away from the camera you get as you look, bigger the negative number, the further away the object is. Let me split this scene right here and show you what I mean. We'll come over to this window. I'll grab the orbit tool and click. And we can see that item 3, I'll turn it on and off, is this green rectangle. From the front view, it looks like it's just small and in front of everything else or inside of it. But when we look at the orbit scene here, we can see that it is really actually a long ways away. What we want to do is have the ability to control this and have these items sort automatically. Now I could go ahead and rearrange my layer order, so number 1, which happens to be this lavender square, is at the top, but that's kind of defeating the purpose. An easier way to do it is to simply go ahead and create a depth folder, grab these files, I'll shift click to select those and pop them in. Now nothing looks like it changes right here, but when I double click on the options for the folder, we'll see we've got a tab for depth sort. And I can turn on sort by layers, and I prefer to also leave sort by true distance on. I'll choose OK. We now see that no longer can we see those other rectangles in front of us, and everything looks like it should work accordingly. Why is this important? Well, as you get to more sophisticated animations, you may want to play a lot more with depth sort. Here happens to be an animation that's built with some fairly big layers right here. If I do a quick preview render of this, we'll see it actually render out in depth. So we've got a giant coming into a village. He's come through some trees, some pretty cool stuff like this, but let's take a look at the scene. With this split and the orbit camera selected, I can now rotate around the scene, and we can see actually how large it is. There's a bunch of special effects going on here inside of Animate to create this look that we have when we go ahead and do the render. This would be impossible to do without depth sorting. Now in this case, where there are tons of layers, got giants and trees and all sorts of things going on, instead of setting up folders to control layer depth, the easiest thing to do is actually to come up to File, Project Settings, and then choose right down here, Sort Layers by Depth and Sort by True Distance. This will become a global setting for the entire project, so you don't have to manage on a folder by folder basis. However, if you're working with some simple animation, working with a simple folder that has the depth sort option engaged is the easiest way to manage and work in 3D space with Anime Studio Pro.